All right, so in the last video, we made our templated response in a Google Doc. We inserted the tags that we wanted to insert. They're going to give us the information from the form that we've already created that's taking our paper form and trying to make it digital and available for people to fill out. Now we need to get to AutoCrat and set that up so that it will let us send out the approval or request for more information or on to the next person or whatever it is that you need this to do. In our case, we want to say approved or denied, and we want AutoCrat to automatically send that email so that you don't have to retype this every single time somebody comes up requesting, in this case, a fundraiser, whatever your situation may be. So we've got this. It's saved. It's in a folder in Google Drive where we can find it again and where we can send all of the other responses we're going to get, so we have record of that. You're going to get back to your form. Here in the responses tab, you've got the ability to turn these responses into a Google Sheet. So we're going to do that and click on, and that's going to get us to here. Once you're here, you want to go up to add-ons. It's over in the end. It's the second to the last in the menus. And you're going to get the add-on called AutoCrat. I already have it added to mine, which is why it's not showing up right away, but it is down here. And here it is, it's installed. If you don't already have it installed, you're going to click on it and give it permission to interact with your Google Drive. It'll explain more to you. It gives you all of their information and some examples of how to do it and gets you to their site and their help page, which is how I've remembered how to do all of these things. So add that into your world. Once you've done that, you go back to add-ons, get to AutoCrat, and you'll open it. AutoCrat has 9 steps, I think, and a couple of them we don't need for this beginning purpose. So I'll walk you through those settings, and you will have it set up to where it will merge a document, link that document, and email it to whoever it is it needs to be emailed to. So here's the job that I've already set up. When yours opens up for the first time, it's going to say there's no job here, and you'll click on new job and create one. I already have this job figured out. So I'm going to show you the settings that worked for me and let you run with it. You want to name the job something that's going to make sense, fundraiser scenario, the dates, whatever it is that works for you so that you know what this is. I'm naming everything experiment something in this process. So experiment fundraiser scenario. So you got it named, you'll click on next. Here's where you're going to connect that template that you made to AutoCrat so that it knows where to put the information that it pulls from your form. I have it named and open. I went into Drive and I found it. It should be one of the most recent things that you've done. And there it is. Recently used templates. Here's one for a Mad Lib that I did. And here's this one that we're using today. So give it permission. Be sure that you do that. If you don't already have a template at some point, you can create the example and use it from there as well. But we already created ours, so we'll link it here. Next, we need to map the source data to the template. So in this, we put in tags, right? Email address, the name of the group, purpose, approved, denied, whatever your tags were. AutoCrat now wants to be sure it maps to the right column in the results of your form. So email address is going to map to the column email address. Name of the group is going to map to name of the group. Purpose is going to map to purpose. Approved and denied is going to map to approved or denied. If you have not already created these 2 columns, you want to go in and do that. You can save this at any point. This is me getting ahead of myself. And you'll take these 2 columns here after what's populated from your form, put in a column for approved and a column for denied. That's the only thing you're going to have to do after somebody fills out the form. You'll decide, is it approved? Is it denied? And I did some of both with the examples that I had. So be sure you've got those 2 so that you can map to them so that AutoCrat can do the work for you. Get back to AutoCrat and back to the steps that we're working through, and be sure. Naming everything correctly, editing it, getting it to run. Once it's set up, it'll do the work for you. So here's our job name that we've done. Here's the template that's there, mapping all of those responses to the column that it's going to go to. You notice in the drop down, here's all of these things that it's got available, and you pick which one goes where. Then you get the file settings. What do you want this file that it creates to be named? I said the person's email address, so we know it's unique to that person, and fundraiser request with the school year in it. You can obviously name that document whatever you want to name that document. That's where it's going to go, right up here. You'll have a copy of it. It's going to email a copy of that to the person who submitted the request. You can put this out as a Google Doc or as a PDF, and I would go with this multiple output mode, just classic. That's the easiest one. It's the default. It just works. Then you want to choose a destination folder. That's why I suggested putting everything in the same folder. Choose a folder, get it to where all of these requests for this particular form in this job go in the same place. You don't have to add a dynamic folder reference. We can do that another time if we want to and get fancier. Right now, it's not necessary. We don't need to set up any merging conditions. We want to share this document and send the email. Share the doc? Yes. That way people know what your response was. You can send that to them so that they can edit it, so they can view it, so they can comment, so anybody can edit or link or view or any of those things. I said view only because we didn't need anybody to be able to change it. Allow the collaborators to reshare. That's a choice you can make. Do you want to send it from a generic no reply address? Again, that's a choice you can make. Then you get to put in the email. It's to whoever the email address is. You put in that tag. Those are over here. If you click on this blue bar, you can pick whichever one of these you want and copy and paste it into this spot so that you don't have to retype it if you don't want to. Here's the subject line. Here's what the email is going to say. Your fundraising request has been reviewed. The response is attached. Here it is, or whatever it is you need to say. We don't want to run this on a trigger. We don't want to run it on a time trigger. In the future, if you want to, you can, but if nobody fills out the form, you're going to get an email that says, we couldn't, AutoCrat tried to run, it couldn't, it's running on this time trigger, and that can get confusing. So I turned both of these off. And then you're ready to save it and let it save all of those settings. You want to go in on the forms on the sheet that you've already got and put in approved or denied on each of those as they come through. When you're ready to run AutoCrat and get it to populate this, you go to open. And you should have that job that we just created, and you're going to click on run. When you click run, it's going to give you the merge document ID. See, here's run. Here's the URL of that document that was created. Here's the link to the merged doc, and then here's the merged document status. Document successfully created, successfully merged. The email was sent to this person. It was manually run by me at this time doing these things. Okay, it should work like a charm. If there's something wrong with an AutoCrat, it will tell you, hey, you need to map this tag differently. This didn't work. That didn't something. It'll give you information if there's something not set up right in here. If you want to set up a new job from the same bits that you've got, you can go in and set up under some new qualifications and do some other things. But for our basic beginning purposes, we've taken this form, we've approved it or denied it, and we've sent out the message to the person who submitted it that they have their approval or their denial of their fundraising request. I hope that works for you. I hope it was easy to follow through. Please let me know if that doesn't work or you need any other help in any other way. And thanks for watching.